Hi, this is Drew Jones of Drewsguitarshop in Seattle, Washington. This is going to be a quick video about bridge pins, and I do apologize about my voice. I am kind of sick right now. Anyway, I wanted to talk about these guys. So this is, pretty typical, plastic, cheapo bridge pin, the kind of which that I order here in bulk, just in case, I get a guitar in that has these and one needs replacing. Like this one, I would say, is in need of replacement. Now, bridge pins are one of those things that people have a lot of strong opinions about, and I don't know necessarily that those strong opinions are warranted, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk about maybe some pros and cons and, different materials and things. The main point that I want to make about these is that these pins came out of a vintage Martin, New York. And the thing is that is a really nice parlor guitar. It's really nice. And these are extremely cheap pins. And, there comes a point with a guitar in terms of where that guitar is at in terms of its level of professionalism, in terms of, its level of quality, where maybe, it's good to consider some of the higher end, better working and better looking options for your instrument. These are, on top of the fact that they're plastic, these have been abused and used over the years. I don't even really know what did that. But suffice to say, in my opinion, I think that these pins here do not belong in a guitar like that Martin, New York. That guitar, I think, warrants something a little bit nicer than these guys. You do see plastic bridge pins in high-end guitars. Lots of companies just kind of put these in, out of the factory. Bridge pins don't really need to be much. All they need to be able to do is to hold the ball of the string against the bridge plate on the inside of the guitar and not move. So these plastic pins do actually do, what they're supposed to do. But there are better things out there. So let's go ahead and move these out of the way and let's talk about some different options here. So this is my board of bridge pins here that I have up by my check-in desk. And these are just options that I'll point players at, if they want to move on to something better. These top ones here are bone. These two here are ebony and rosewood, and this down here is brass. So we're going to talk about the pros and cons to all of these materials here. Now, bone is the most common choice. It's a very good choice for bridge pins because it is tough. It doesn't tend to end up with these bends and stuff in here like that, and it doesn't tend to, get deformed as easily. And it also is light, which is good for an acoustic soundboard because anything that is moving weight is not producing tone for you. And the thing about these is that they look better too. When I look at an older Martin, like I said, I just don't want to see plastic pins in it. It's a nice guitar. It deserves nice stuff. These are the nice stuff. Now, different people will talk about different tonal benefits. I will say that, having done a one-to-one comparison, I've installed a bunch of these pins in guitars that had plastic pins originally, and so I've been able to hear, the same guitar, with different pins. And so I can comfortably say that I do notice a difference. The difference is basically you get a little bit more in the high end, which is nice, and you also get a little bit more sustain, which is actually kind of surprising. Usually sustain comes from weight, but in this case, I think that the sustain is actually coming from hardness because the bone is so much harder than the plastic that string ball is actually resting up against something nice and solid. Now, there's different varieties of these bone pins. You can get them with a dot, you can get them bleached, you can get them plain, you can get them with all kinds of different designs. But, most of these are going to be just fine for you. The ones that I order are kind of rough. These are ones that I kind of process myself here. I take that tip off and I kind of bevel that edge, and then I go through here and I polish them out. And I also kind of put a little bit of a flattened side against here so that the string ball doesn't chip out these little corners quite as easily. That said, those chips that occur are way better than, that, and they're easy to prevent by just, kind of flattening those edges a little bit. So anyway, that's the benefits of bone. Looks nice. It adds a little bit for your tone, and it's tough, and, not that expensive. None of these are that expensive. Ebony and rosewood, I would say, perform about equally in terms of the tonal benefits. I'm sure that, if you sat down and did an oscilloscope or something, one-to-one comparison, maybe there'd be slight differences, but to my mind, wood pins generally all kind of sound alike. The benefits to wood are that it is tougher than plastic. That may sound a little weird to some, but it is. This wood does not tend to, develop these, curves and, chips and things. And the thing about wood is that it's the same material as the bridge usually, or it's pretty close to. Rosewood pins and a rosewood bridge, fine. Ebony pins and a rosewood bridge, fine. But basically, these guys are gonna get you, a better quality pin, better looking pin, matches the guitar better. I'll also say that it's nice when you have something going through a hole that's friction fit if those two things expand and contract relatively similarly in moisture conditions. Because what you can end up with something hard going through a hole in wood is that when that wood wants to swell, it can crack because the wood is trying to expand around something that will not have any give to it. So it's nice, when you have something that's it kind of act the same way as the wood around it. In terms of tonal benefits, I'll say that the wood pins do, I think, sound better. It's kind of more of a natural sort of woody tone. I mean, it's very slight, but it is there. It's noticeable. And so, these are a pretty good way to go. Now, these brass pins down here, these are kind of a special case scenario here. Generally speaking, metal, weight, and, things like that are not things that you want to add to an acoustic guitar because, like I said earlier, anything that is moving weight is not producing tone for you. That said, there are instances in which you might want to go for a little bit of weight, mainly in that if you have something like a baritone acoustic, or maybe you have something where you're looking for a lot of sustain. So a lot of sustain and you're not so concerned about the attack, and you don't mind maybe there being kind of a little sort of metallic end to the sound that you're making. It's going to be very, very slight, but it will be present there. You can go with these brass pins. What these are going to do is it's going to add weight, and weight equals sustain. You can kind of think about that in terms of a flywheel. If you don't know what that is, look it up, but basically it's a thing that you use to store momentum. It's this big heavy thing, it spins around, and when the thing moving it stops spinning it around, it's so heavy and it has so much inertia that it just keeps spinning, and so it stores that force. That's kind of the same way that weight works for instruments in terms of producing sustain. It takes more to get this moving, but once it is moving, it will tend to stay moving longer than something that is lighter. Because it has more inertia behind it. So that would be an instance in which I would go with these, as if that were the important quality, that was the thing that I was trying to get out of the instrument, something like this would get you there. Anyway, there's all kinds of different choices out there. There's all kinds of different styles, there's different, little inlays and whatever. You can find bridge pins of all kinds of different varieties. I'm sure that there's going to be something out there that looks good to you. But, if you're playing a Martin or a Gibson or a Taylor or, anything kind of high end, anything where, you spent some money on the guitar and you treasure the guitar and that guitar is working for you, this is one of the few instances in which I will definitely recommend what I kind of term guitar jewelry. This is a little bit more than just on there for looks. It's also on there for function, and, it's one of those things where, you see something that's super high-end, super nice, super vintage, and you see these cheap parts on it, and it's just why? I kind of use car analogies here a lot. But, it would be like, I guess, if you like had a Ferrari or something and like, you went to the junkyard to get like replacement parts for it that were like visible, and it's just like, you got this nice car and this piece of junk sitting there in the middle, and it's like, man, why? I kind of feel the same way about these pins relative to, nicer guitars. Now, if you're playing like a Johnson or some beater, this probably doesn't matter. Go with these. You can order them in hundreds. You can get barrels of these things. And if they go bad, you just pull them out and replace them with another one. It's not that big a deal. But, if you're playing something a little higher end and you want to go for those little tonal benefits, this is definitely a better way to go. Anyway, this has been Drew Jones of Drew's Guitar Shop in Seattle, Washington. I got a lot of more videos like this on my channel, so check those out. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, link around to your friends and all of that good stuff. In the description of the video, you will find a link that goes to my Reverb page where I sell some stuff, and also a link to my website where you can find my contact information and my pricing on repair work. If you do want to contact me for any kind of consultation work, there is also information about that in the description next to where you see my Patreon and my Ko-Fi account. Anyway, this has been Drew Jones of Drew's Guitar Shop in Seattle, Washington. Thank you for watching.